Good morning and welcome for our Christmas Eve edition of Stories from My Tree. And as you can see, Yoshi here is in the screen. That's pretty fitting because my ornament is the shepherds. The shepherds kneeling down presumably at the cradle of Jesus as they came to pay homage and visit the newborn king. And I don't think we can overstate how important it is to really take a look at the fact that as the angels burst through the heavens and gave the pronouncement that God had been born, that it was first for a group of shepherds. They were working class individuals, to say the least. In most cases, shepherds were hired hands, and so they were charged with protecting the flock with their lives, but protecting someone else's flock, so to speak. And these were faithful people, hardworking people, but also at the lower rungs of society. And so when we think about the good news coming to the shepherds first, it is hope for us that it wasn't to the religious experts or leaders, it wasn't to the ruling class or the powerful, the prestigious or the popular, but it was to the shepherds that the message first came about the birth of Jesus Christ. As the story is told in Luke chapter 2, the shepherds were afraid. And the message that the angel first gave them was not to be afraid. Do not fear, for unto you this day has been born a Savior. My friends, throughout this month, looking at the different ornaments and the stories from our tree, this is perhaps the message that we need to hear the most, is that with whatever's going on in your life, whether you feel like you're on top of the world or somewhere far, far away from that, the good news is that God came in the form of Jesus Christ to show us not to be afraid, but to give us a message of good news, of hope, of peace, of joy, of love. For God came to make his home on earth with you and with me. Later on, Jesus would become known as the Good Shepherd, the one who was willing to lay down his life for God's flock. And it is that Good Shepherd whose birth we celebrate. And I hope that you are making plans to be a part of a worship celebration. Of course, I would love to see you at Church at the Well if you are in or around Cartersville. We have our candlelight and communion gatherings at 9:30 and 11 a.m. today. But I want you to come or go wherever you can, where you can hear that message once again, that message of good news, to not be afraid, because God has come. He came to make his home on earth with you and with me, so that as we follow him and we live our life for him, we can come to know that he is making our home in the heavens for him. And it was to the shepherds that that message first came. So as we look at my shepherd's ornament today, I want you to think about how profound this message is and the hope that it has for you and for me. That it isn't for the ruling class, it isn't for the powerful, the popular, the prestigious, but it is for the love of everybody that God came and tells us not to fear, but to give our lives to him. So that's our Christmas Eve edition of Stories from My Tree. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to touching base tomorrow when we can officially say Merry Christmas.